and we will always be united against the haters of the far right.
I didn't come here illegally. I'm a British Commonwealth citizen. That is hostile. It's a racial issue.
Eulalie came from Jamaica to join her Windrush family in 2001. Up until now, she has been struggling to obtain her legal status.
I've got my daughter here. I've got my grandchildren here. My son was here with me also in 2001 because we both came here. They deported him on the 8th of December 2008. He was murdered 2009.
The Windrush generation got their name after the Empire Windrush ship docked in Tilbury, Essex in 1948, bringing the first group of immigrants from Commonwealth countries. They came at the invitation of the British government in 1948-1973 to help restore the British Empire after World War II. 70 years after, many people again lost their jobs, some were detained, and their legal status was denied. Although the scandal is deemed to be gone, many people are still deported or detained, and some are still waiting for compensation. Junior is now British, but his painful experience is hard to forget.
Well, basically, I've been trying to get my indefinite stay renewed in my passport for over 20 years. I mean, I've missed a hell of a lot of my parents, my mum's life when she was alive, and all the effects it had on my children, and which I have grandchildren now. I couldn't bring them over to Jamaica. I couldn't leave the country for 20 years. That's like a prison sentence, you know. And for a compensation style position, I mean, when criminals are being locked up instantly, they get compensation. But how can they put a price on this sort of thing?
Glenda's experience too was one of the worst.
My overall thought on it is it's taken too long because this whole scandal has affected people who are meant to be at the stage where they should be retiring now. And some of us were in jobs. We were happy in our jobs, getting our little income coming in, paying our bills on time. As soon as this sort of like happened to us, we were put in financial debt. And I don't think there's anyone involved in this whole thing that's going to come and say to you, I haven't got a debt.
Amelia Gentleman, all alone, managed to grab everyone's attention to the problem.
I think people have been waiting a long time for compensation. They've been promised the possibility of hardship payments for those people who are in extreme financial difficulty, and very few people have received that. I think only 9 people have received that. So we're here a year after the scandal was exposed, and a lot of people are still in enormous financial difficulties. So certainly there's impatience about the amount of time it's taking to get compensation.
It took 11 months to set up the scheme, with evidence gathering and consultation from May to November 2018, and 5 months for design. Martin Porter agreed to answer my questions.
I think that the claims will be hybrid. I've tried to impress upon the Home Office that elements of claims should be capable of being paid quite quickly. So, for instance, legal fees, although there may be some controversy around levels. Well evidence loss of earnings should be fairly easy to calculate. Same with loss of benefits, although when you've got tax credits that gets a bit more complicated.
When this first came out, the first thing they should have done is found out how are these people coping. We've stopped them from getting benefits. We've taken their income, regular income away from them. This is what they should have done. But they've left it a year. We've had to go through paperwork on top of paperwork. Paperwork that sometimes that we didn't even have, but we've had to try to look for paperwork. And then they've given us more paperwork to complete. We didn't cause this problem. It wasn't our problem. This is what the government created with their hostile environment policy or whatever it is. Now the compensation scheme has come along, we're still having to complete paperwork with this, and they're still asking for paperwork to complete paperwork.
There's guidance which runs to a number of pages. The actual claim forms themselves, and they're three. So there's a primary claimant, so that's the person who's most affected. So that runs to 18 pages, and you'll see from this that many of them are blank. That's to allow people to explain their actual experience. Then I designed the scheme so that close family members could also bring a claim. So if they've been affected by the impact upon, for instance, a grandparent that did childcare, or possibly their families where people have been deported and they've sent money to support them until they've been reunited with them, I thought it's sensible that they would also have a claim. And then unfortunately some people have already passed away or may potentially die during the process of making a claim. I know that sounds very morbid, but it was something I thought needed to be covered. And so there's a way of inheriting claims to the estates of the deceased.
Even though the scheme seems to be clear, for people like Eulalie is yet a long way to go.
I am not gonna keep stressing myself over all these immigration stuff, because as far as I know, I count myself as a British Commonwealth citizen.